This is for the second part of the group talk presentation in my communications class. This time it was a group of four of us, and we ended up going to Starbucks earlier before class since that was when our schedules were lined up and we had time to meet up and film the group video. And I did notice that I felt like it was a bit more easier this time around to talk in the group project because at the beginning of the year it was more with people that I had barely met, and now this time I've been in the classroom for a bit. I had talked to them a lot more and been in situations where I would speak to them a bit more and we would have debates, so I felt like it was a lot more easier and more comfortable to talk to these people. And what helped was that one of the people in this assignment was somebody that I had previously done this assignment before in the beginning of the year, and she is very hyper and very controlling of the conversation in a good way, where she led most of the conversation, is very active, is very open about things, and it just makes it a lot more easier to get comfortable and opens up a couple of topics where you could lead the conversation off from there. And I also noticed that this time around I was a bit more open and more talkative than before. So I had moments where I would be talking a bit more in the conversation, laughing a bit more. And previously, I wouldn't have been like that. I would have mostly listened. And although I did listen a pretty fair amount in the video, I also talked more than I usually would have. And I feel like it was because I was a bit more comfortable talking to these people now that I've gotten to know them a bit more, as well as, and from what I notice about myself, it's that I do tend to talk a lot with my hands. It was something that I noticed previously as well, but I was paying a bit more attention, and I would say that I do have a lot more hand movement and like just a movement in general when I talk that I didn't really notice, or that I don't really notice that I have. So I would say that I don't think I need to get rid of that habit, but I do need to lessen it a bit more since I do repeated motions that I don't intentionally think I should do. And I also noticed that the habit that I used to have where I would kind of stare off into the distance while I would be listening, but I would not really keep eye contact or look at people has ended up drastically changing from the beginning of the year, and I do hold more eye contact than I previously used to. But with that, I also noticed that I'm not really able to control my facial expressions as well as I thought I did, because I would be looking and I would sometimes unintentionally be making like a face that didn't reflect how I was feeling. It's just something that naturally comes out. So I do need to work on getting a bit more control over my facial expression since I don't want to give off the wrong impression. And I also want to act and like look where I don't make people feel uncomfortable or insecure about anything. But I have noticed I have improved a lot more from the beginning of the year when it comes to conversations in a group setting.